After working with 10,000s of people, not thousands, 10,000s of people, what's the one conclusion I have as a coach? What's the essence of more than 25 years of coaching work? It's that people don't value themselves enough, that they grossly underestimate themselves. They put themselves down, make themselves small, and they try to pass it off as being humble, but it's very different than true humility. So they don't value themselves, okay? And that's also the root of many of their problems. So the essential core belief that they hold in consciousness, or in their subconscious, more precisely, is I am not good enough. I'm somehow deficient. There's something not quite right with me. There's something wrong with me. And they hold this and try to use it as a method to self-improvement. They use it as a method to get better. Okay? They think that if I keep thinking that I'm no good, then I'm going to improve. And in a strange way, there's a little bit of merit to that. There's a little bit of merit to feeling that you haven't achieved anything yet, and you want to achieve more, and you want to get better. But if it gets too much, it's not good. It puts your energy down and wrecks your entire life. Okay, so to a certain extent, feeling that you're not that good yet is fine, but you know, you can improve. That's the difference between I'm not feeling good enough yet, I could do better, and I am, as an internalized self-definition, I am not good. Right? And the I am not good lies at the root of all kinds of problems. So I'm not good enough. And the opposite of that is I'm a unique soul. I'm this amazing energy. I'm a child of the universe. I'm a child of the stars. I'm a child of a higher power. I'm a child of Source. I'm a child of God. That's the opposite of I'm not good enough. I am someone with access to the infinite. I am pure consciousness. I have access to the divine. I'm born of divine royalty. You see, most people, when they hear that, they think, well, that sounds ridiculous. Well, it might sound ridiculous at first, but once you get used to it, if you consider it, over the time span of days, weeks, and months, you might get used to it. And that's what I'd wish for anybody. I'd wish them to know just how amazing they are. Not just to say it or to pretend it, oh, I'm so amazing, I'm so great in front of the mirror, but to genuinely know it from experience, to see it, to feel it. Because what happens to people who fake it, they go to these motivational seminars and they are taught to stand in front of the mirror and say, I am great, I am great. But they don't really feel it and they don't see it. All they see is some mediocre, overweight, whatever it is they're thinking about themselves to put themselves down, then it doesn't matter how much they say, I am great, I am great, I am awesome. It's not going to be a real life experience. So there's many subtle ways in which people think and express the core belief, I'm not good enough. One of those ways is by comparing themselves to others who are supposedly better. Okay? So they'll say, well, this guy is an expert in his field and he's worked this for 20 years, and look at me, I've achieved nothing, I have nothing to show, I have no skills, and so forth, and they use that to put themselves down. It's one variation. And I'm not saying that that person and this person are equal, at an equal level of expertise, okay? If somebody's worked on something for 20 years, they're certainly more expert than this person who hasn't, certainly. I'm not questioning that. But that doesn't have to be used to put yourself down. Somebody else's greatness doesn't have to be used to put yourself down. Because you are born, even before you learn any skills or become expert at anything, you are born amazing. You are born equipped with a very powerful emotional transmitter, very powerful imagination that can create any reality you focus it on. You're equipped with the power of attention. You're equipped with the power of intuition to receive any knowledge you want. That's truly amazing. Okay, that's just awesome. You have access to all of that. So from the very beginning, you're quite a miracle, quite a phenomenon. And in addition to all of those qualities, you also have unique qualities that only you have, that no other human has. Every single human being is created unique. If you grow vegetables, for example, you'll see that let's say you grow tomatoes, there's not a single tomato that looks like another. They all come in slightly different sizes, different shapes. They manifest differently. And in the same way, you're grown to be unique. There's nobody like you. There's certain things only you know. Certain things only you can do in a certain way. Certain things only you see. And that's the opposite of saying, oh, I'm worse than others, or compare myself to others. I mean, it's fine to compare yourself to others if it's done in a fun manner in order to have some fun competition and try to get better. But if you use comparison to others to put yourself down, that's not okay. That's not fine, because you're disrespecting your unique talents and what you came here to feel and do. So you got to ask yourself, what is it that's unique to me? Who am I as a unique soul, a unique individual? You know, all these people you compare yourselves to, they're great, but you're interesting in your own way. And you have something they can't do. You have something I'm not able to do, because I don't have the skill, the talent, the time, or the mentality to do it. That's right. There's something that you can do that I can't. And you see, most people who, or many people who watch my videos and they see some teacher talking, they don't even see it that way. They don't view that teacher as someone who's lacking a skill that they have. They're just like, oh, this amazing teacher, this interesting teacher, this great teacher. And rarely do they consider, well, what does this person not have that I have? That's because they don't value themselves. Another variation of the I am not good enough is the idea that I'm a small piece in a large machinery, a small cog in the wheel, a small citizen in the system. It's a common way of seeing the world, and it's entirely inaccurate. Those who seek to enslave you would love for you to see it that way, but it's entirely inaccurate. Okay? Even if you were just a small cog in a large wheel, without that small cog, the entire wheel wouldn't work. So the opposite of that idea is I'm an integral part of the whole. I'm an integral part of the whole. Integral meaning without me the whole collapses. It means that my contributions are needed, are worthwhile. I mean, have you ever looked at a group of ants and asked yourself, why? Why ants? Who needs ants? Okay, they're just bothersome. Why ants? But the truth is, even the ants are very, very, very much needed in nature, in the chain of everything. And without them, we'd probably be in trouble, and we don't know how we'd be in trouble, perhaps. Maybe some scientists know, but without them, something else wouldn't work, because one thing leads to another, and to another, as in the butterfly effect. So I'm an integral part of the whole is the positive opposite of I'm a small cog in a large machinery. A variation of that is I'm a small human in a large universe. That's what we're often shown in school, you know. There's this huge and gigantic universe out there, and we're just this little dot. Planet Earth is just this small, insignificant dot, and we're an even smaller dot within that dot. I mean, how insignificant and worthless are we? But that idea too is completely inaccurate. And I'm sorry that people undergo that kind of brainwashing in their schools and universities. I'm fortunate enough to have bypassed much of my schooling. Self-learned and self-studied, so I was not as strongly exposed to all of that nonsense as a child. So rather than being a small human in a large and pointless universe, in that mean old universe, you yourself are actually an entire universe. You are an entire universe. There's an entire universe within you. Did you know that? You're a mini universe onto yourself. And your consciousness is actually unlimited. You see, you can expand your awareness anywhere you want in the universe. And that's more of who you are than the body. The body is just a tool. It's a tool used by consciousness. Consciousness is not limited to the body. You only experience it that way because you think it is. You believe it is. But that's not you. So you're not a human making a spiritual experience. You're a spirit making a human experiences. Another variation of the I'm not good enough is that my contributions make no difference. What I do makes no difference. And that too is complete nonsense. And it's because so many people think that way that things are only changing ever so slowly on planet Earth. It's just a thought. It's like a thought virus. I mean, things do change, but if they change, that change was started by individuals who don't think that way, who don't think my contributions don't make a difference. Okay, again, think of the butterfly effect, where one small change or one individual can make a gigantic difference in the long run. In fact, if you look at most of society's inventions, they actually come from single individuals. The most society and life-changing inventions in history all come from single individuals. Not from groups, not from movements, not from committees, not from political parties. Likewise, companies or corporations usually build around single individuals. It was a single individual that gave the spark, that gave the high energy. So an individual's contributions make all the difference. So if you don't value yourself, you're not going to do a good job in anything. Whatever job you do, it doesn't matter. You don't value yourself. But if you do value yourself, you'll do a good job no matter what job you do. Because you respect yourself, you respect others, and you respect the way you do your job. If you don't value yourself, you won't ask any money from anyone. You won't ask the right price. You'll undervalue yourself, and you'll stay poor. If you don't value yourself, you won't provide any value to others. Think about that. In order to provide value to others, to help others, to support others, to help them be more healthy, successful, happy, prosperous, you first have to value yourself. If you don't value yourself, you'll take on a job you don't like because you're not worth any better in your own mind, in your own eyes. There's statistical research that has revealed that more than 60% of the people who are in prison can remember being told by their parents that one day they're going to end up in prison. Think about that. That's just amazing. So their parents programmed them, you're worth nothing, you have no value, you're going to end up in prison, and that's exactly what happens. That's called reality creation. Maybe you've heard of it. Did you know that your view of life, the way you see life, and also the way you see the entire universe in general, or if you're religious, the way you see God, corresponds to the view you have of yourself? So, if you think the universe is friendly, a friendly place, it's because you're a friendly person. I'm telling you this now, it's up to you to examine that. Okay, if you think God is peaceful and kind, that's because you are peaceful and kind. What you think of God is what you think of yourself. Everything you see on the outside is a reflection of the inside. If you think there's a angry and judgmental God, it's because you are angry and judgmental toward yourself. If you think life is boring and mediocre and there's nothing happening out there, it's because you are in fact boring and mediocre and nothing is happening in your life. And just because nothing is happening in your life doesn't mean nothing is happening in the whole world or the whole universe. In fact, there's a lot happening out there. Much more than you can imagine. If you think the universe is a bad place, it's because you're in a bad place. You've created a bad place for yourself. So if you want an exercise, make a list of how you view yourself, okay, who you think you are, whether you like yourself, what you dislike about yourself. How do you view yourself? You make a list of that. And then you make a list of how you view the universe, or life, or God. And then you compare those lists. So it could be, I am this, I'm that, and then life is, or God is, depending on your preference. And then compare those lists. See if there's any similarity, any connection. What I found as a coach of several decades now is that it's a total match. Okay, I can, depending on people's views of life or their views of the universe, I can pretty much predict what their views of themselves are. All I have to do is ask them, how do you see life? What's life about? And I know who they are. So whatever they see in life is a reflection of themselves. You don't see the world as it is, you see it as you are. That's why you have to be the change you want to see in the world. You have to be it, literally. If you don't value yourself, you don't set high standards, and you don't set high goals. You don't think big. If you really devalue yourself, you don't set any goals at all. So setting goals is a good sign. It's a sign that somebody values life and thereby themselves. See, the two go together. And they also set a few high goals. So they'll set regular, normal goals, and they'll set at least one very, very high goal. And the reason it's good to have one very high goal, maybe even impossibly high goal, is because of all of the stuff you can achieve and learn on the path to that goal. So I always have about one or two small goals and one very, very high goal. And regardless of whether I achieve that very, very high goal or not, I grow a lot and learn a lot in trying to achieve it. Because it's about the path and growth, not about the goal itself. Goals are merely used as a tool to grow, as not to get lost in apathy and just wander around pointlessly in life. to have an expansion. And your soul enjoys that very much. Your soul loves to expand, loves to grow. So if you value yourself, you'll have that. And you're not going to have too many goals. Okay, you're not going to have 10 or 20 goals. That's not valuing yourself, actually. That's the opposite again. That's having so many goals that you're not going to achieve any. It's about focusing. And if you want to focus, you only have 1, 2, or 3 goals at a time at the most. If you don't value yourself, you're going to take rejection, criticism, and failure as a total disaster. It'll totally obliterate and destroy you. But if you do value yourself, then rejection, criticism, and failure is just that. Rejection is just another person's loss, not your loss. Or it's a motivator for you to get better, but it's no big deal. It does not destroy you. It motivates you. Failure motivates you. Criticism motivates you instead of destroying you. When you value yourself. And if you value yourself, you're going to have more fun, especially. I mean, if you ask people, if you had 1 more month to live, what would you do? Most people say they would do something really fun. And that indicates, that shows to me that people don't have enough fun. If that's what they'd finally do if their life is about to end. Okay, and paradoxically, once people get it, that life is about having fun, they're too old to do all the fun things they could have done. Okay, if you're 90 years old and you suddenly realize, hey, the point was to have fun. It's not that easy to, get out on a jet ski all day, for example. So I'm going to leave you with a homework here. In the next weeks, I'd like you to create 4 situations, or attract 4 situations that make you laugh so hard that you have to catch your breath. Okay? 4 situations that make you laugh so hard you have to catch your breath. Could you do that for me? Could you find that? And could you do it for yourself, especially? Why this homework? What is it about? Well, laughter is a sign that you're not suppressing emotions. You're not locked in shame. You're truly free, and you're not wearing any masks. Okay? During that time, for that moment, you understand the cosmic joke. I'm not asking you to be a clown. There's times for fun and times for earnestness, okay? But hard laughter, the ability to laugh really hard, to lose yourself, is to see whether you've broken the toxic shame, the toxic guilt, the secrets and lies, and the fears that bind you to non-authentic behavior. It's a test of whether you've done this course well. I trust you've learned a lot from this course. I recommend you repeat it every couple of years. At least repeat parts of it, that trigger you. And I wish you well.